Did you hear that?
Say it again.
Did you hear that? It was like a pop. Maybe not.
Mm,
Okay.
okay. All right.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And welcome back to another. No, not even to another. Oh, we're not even starting yet. We drinking water.
We live like raw shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, we're back, and y'all are back. No, y'all missed us. We can't really do this every day. We
Mm-mm.
have other things to do, even if this is a
Something
money
we love.
maker
Mm-hmm.
and something we love. We got other stuff to do. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Our generation is not really built to be online like that.
No.
Shout out to those streamers, that
Yeah,
sit
influencers.
on the sofa all day, or you got a game chair and you just
Mm.
sitting all day and making bread. Shout out to them, the video gamers, the
Yeah.
Twitch ones. Um, it just ain't a thing. I don't know about you, but I don't
No,
want to
it's
speak
not.
for both of us. But it ain't my thing. So it probably wouldn't. It probably wouldn't be my cup of tea to be on here every day.
Mm. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why we're not. But we give you guys a little bit of time to miss us, which is great. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Especially me, my strong views and he's an asshole. But where is he at? I miss his
Mm-hmm.
content. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So we're back. The before we get into the topic, let's just, once again, Happy New Year. I know we said
Mm-hmm.
this prior,
And the
but
Chinese
Happy
New
New
Year
Year.
just passed through
Yeah,
Monday.
yeah, we're
Mm-hmm.
in February. Um, Valentine's Day's tomorrow. Do your
Mm-hmm.
thing. But we gonna get into it, and y'all know y'all back cause y'all are fiends. Just you don't know what that means. We're serving you your dose weekly of discipline therapy where not everything is completely free, as we're on Patreon for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see. But what is free is judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and some liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or my favorite roll of blunt. But make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we
Mm-hmm.
have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversation. Prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast. We're
We're back.
back.
All right. So we're back with the season premiere of season 17, episode 177. If people became more aware of the unknown double standards, how much would actually change?
First and foremost, we're going to go through the stuff that we always do to remind them
Yep. See,
where we are else.
even we make little blunders. I forgot about that. My bad. We want to give a shout out to Center Stage Music Studio in Belmore and Joe, of course, who runs the place. This is his place? Yeah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous guy. He always has everything ready for us, nice and warm because I'm always cold. Um
You're
we also
anemic?
Yes.
Mm.
I've been anemic for a while. There's also links in the description on how to become part of our Patreon family and subscribe for exclusive content, bloopers, behind the scenes, Mr. Eel Discipline's solo lectures of discipline therapy talk, his BDSM content, erotica posts, and writing by Mr. Discipline. We upload his masterclass and workshops. The full videos are uploaded here. We also have some collaboration shows pertaining to more sensitive topics such as sexual abuse, rape, domestic violence, transgender, children abduction, conspiracy theories, government conspiracy theories, which are turning out to be not conspiracy theories, um, and more with myself and Mr. Discipline. Once again, how to become part of our Patreon family, you're going to go to patreon.com/the Discipline Therapy Podcast. And we also, I always do that. Mr. EL Discipline has 7 published books for you to choose from. They're all available for purchase. We have them on Amazon.com, BarnesandNobles.com. We have them for electronic versions as well. Kindle. What's the one for Barnes and Nobles? Nook.
Mm-hmm.
And so much more. So once again, we have the links in the description under the video. And for our online store merch, we have disciplinetherapy.launchcart.store/shop. Check that out. We have different categories for you guys, and we try to have different things in there every month. And that's it. Oh,
Okay.
we're also on, if you can't always, catch the YouTube where for the visuals, we're on a lot of major listening platforms: Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Deezer, Castbox, iHeartRadio, Overcast, something else. A couple of more of those. I just can't remember right now.
Yeah, I mean, you could Google the Discipline Debbie
Hmm.
podcast. Um, we'll come up somewhere.
That's very true. All right, now for our season premiere. If people become more aware of the unknown double standards, how much would actually change?
All right, so before we get into it, just gonna, from research, do some stuff,
Okay.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's double standards in workplace, there's
Yeah.
double standards in relationships, there's double standards with gender. Um, and just to give people more context, you know, we're a educational
Mm-hmm.
podcast. We like to do that. So it is really when it something applies to one but doesn't apply to the other,
Mm-hmm.
or there's rules or expectations um
For one
for
group.
one group,
Mm-hmm.
or in a relationship could be one-sided, like
Mm-hmm.
you know for my relationships it's like that.
It's
you know
one-sided.
um yeah, there's double standards.
Mm.
So for example, different rules or expectations may apply to them, and I don't
But not you.
adhere to the
Mm.
same rules. The only difference with me is because people like that's toxic. But the only difference with me where I make it a playing field is, I hold myself accountable in a sense of I'm not gonna say that you're supposed to adhere to female gender roles and I could do whatever the fuck I want.
Mm.
You see, so like I'll apply, or better yet, I will adhere to gender roles, like male gender roles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So we're both holding ourselves accountable in that regard. So it to like going back to it again for the playing field, like I follow rules. It's not the same as you because we're both not bosses here.
Mm.
But I follow rules.
But can I ask you a
That
question?
like to like I feel like it's toxic when it's just pushed upon them and they don't do anything. Like the guy has no principles. The guy has no code, no honor. He doesn't adhere to male gender roles. Then it's toxic,
Do
I believe.
you my question was,
I believe.
do you like just spring this on them out of nowhere, or is this something that like you tell them from the get-go?
Yeah, they know from the
From the
beginning.
get-go.
So
I think
they're
that also makes you stand out because I think a lot of guys want to be like that, but then they do it little by like they slowly they
no,
do it.
no. See, from all these seasons, like now we got to put things into context to make people really understand. So we're gonna differentiate guys, right? So when you look at me and someone else, because there are guys like me now.
Mm-hmm.
So now you're looking at a dominant versus regular men.
Mm-hmm.
So you like it could be okay, we exhibit universal characteristics, but when now it pertains to a lifestyle that we live, a character that we have that is 24/7, and that's where the principles is involved, because we stay true to that. That's why we don't switch up. Then it's different. So, like most guys, of course not. Of course, like you are gonna surf metaphorically through the streets, like passing 100 dudes that are all the same, until you come across a diamond, and you're like, and then that diamond is showing you all these characteristics, and that's when you stamp it. He's different. So in this regard, it's like only a dominant. You know what I'm saying? Because his power is these values that he has. Only a dominant brings this apart. Most guys are scared of female energy, don't know how to act around female energy, will simp to female energy, has ulterior motives for that, pertaining to the box. You know what I'm saying? So they will simp, in summary, for the female energy, but only a dominant walks out there to remain himself and retain his character, regardless man or woman, but especially woman, because that is when you're gonna see a man cower the most, especially a beautiful woman.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Sex involved. That's when you're gonna see them cower the most. So most of the time, these guys will not, like you said, do it little by little or lie or whatever it is, because the ulterior motives. Well, if I tell you this straight up, I'm not gonna get the pussy. That's what I really want. Yeah, I got to go through the bullshit process of the dating, but I really want that. She bad, fatty. So he's gonna be like, oh, he's not gonna be that because he doesn't want to lose that opportunity. Like women do that too, but dudes will do that more. Like it's common for women to do that because I believe that's a feminine thing. But dudes will do that more, which is now me conveying that they're more in their feminine today by doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because they're scared. Like a fear is like really a feminine thing. Like even though you might say, oh, well, masculine men fear, we just fear differently. Like, well, I'm afraid of losing my family. This or that. What if something happens to this? Not in the sense of the woman fearing almost everything. You know what I'm saying? But we both have fear, but it's common for the woman to be afraid of how you're gonna view her. It's not common for a man to be thinking, oh, I'm kind of scared how this guy's gonna view me. Kind of scared how my boss is gonna view me. Kind of scared how this girl I really want to date, who might be out of my league, but I got her somehow, is gonna view me. I don't want to scare her away. Like it's not common for that to happen with masculine men.
What I was gonna say is, it's curious to me that we picture two different types of males. Like I picture a male that, the one that does, when I said that does little by little, that doesn't say it, I don't picture him to wanting to get the box. I picture him wanting to, yes, obviously he wants the box, but more he wants to control her. You see what I'm saying? Like a more, like he's really more aggressive and controlling, but obviously he doesn't want to put that out. And I'm not talking about a masculine, man like yourself. I'm talking about an abusive type of man.
It makes sense. That's still beta.
Yes, but what I'm trying to say is, it's not always.
And it's good that you brought that about, because most of the time, like the woman, that will be misconstrued to her because of maybe what the actions, right? So the actions of the character is like, oh, trigger, arousal, psyche, dominance, charge, aggressive. Those are still arousal triggers. So based off those, the woman will move or allow things to occur. Oh, let me give him my number, allow him to keep going, take me on dates, do this, fly me out, take me on trips, buy me things. Like because of that sense alone, that substance. But it's good that you brought that perspective, because the dude that's hiding that is feminine. Like I said, it's still feminine. Like he's just more aggressive with it. Like the one guy is passive aggressive, and this guy's aggressive with it. But
they're still bitches.
But yes, in summary, because the alternative. Like I said, a dominant like has integrity. So like that abuser doesn't have that empathy to think about putting themselves in the other person's shoes.
Mm-hmm.
The integrity of the dominant is what inspires submission. So in regards to that, like when the man is approaching this way, is because like he's already thinking of like her well-being versus like going in like, oh, let me
Like
conceal
sneaky.
this and be sneaky and whatever, because he's also calculating too, like he's thinking about the future. And people, I'm not talking about myself only, like these guys exist.
Yeah.
They're not just everywhere, but they exist. So he's gonna be thinking about the possible ramifications if I don't do it.
We've
Like,
had a couple of guys that think along like your lines also on the show.
yeah, so the other guy is strictly thinking selfishly. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's also fear
Of not getting.
No, yeah, so she gonna run away. If I tell her up front,
Mhm.
is she gonna run away? So it's like he's thinking of himself selfishly, but also the fear. You know what I'm saying? So so that could be some double standards in that regard of
That's true.
how I am in my life. But like you were saying, they agree to it. So we don't put a term to it, but you know, they're adhering to it, right? And this is not like something that is easy for every man. Like you gotta be the man. Like she gotta see you as the man to be able to do that. Cause in a way, like you're approaching like this. I guess if the woman is not like strictly hardcore traditional, she's gonna be looking at it already as like red flags, and like her nervous system's gonna go up.
That's true.
But if she sees like, okay, there's
Like
what do you say? Like
benefits.
there's a lot of pros and cons.
Mm.
Then it's like then that's what makes her kind of jump it like a balance. Like, oh, he a bad boy, but does a lot of great things. Makes me feel really great.
Well, in the in the title of the topic, which and I shouldn't have. What do you mean by? I mean, I think that if they become more aware of unknown double standards, how much would actually change? I think double standards. Obviously, there's one group or one person that's benefiting from it. So I think for that person that's benefiting, or that group that's benefiting from it, would they really want to change anything? They're still benefiting from it. So I don't know about that.
And ladies and gentlemen, we just want to say that this this topic is a continuation from last season Bullet.
It's like a part 2.
Yeah, so
Wait, what's that? You gonna talk about it later?
this was a masterclass surveys.
See, I was so excited to
So
start the show that I just jumped ahead.
so one of them I was reading was someone said I would like to see topics including world issues. So I
Oh.
believe like something like this is a issue. But like I said in the last episode, the season finale, I don't think a lot of people would have emotional intelligence if they were really aware. Like subconsciously, we are,
Mm.
but most people are not conscious of it. So the emotional intelligent people just discern, right? And they categorize and they kind of just go with what works in their favor or they accept,
Mm-hmm.
you know, so it's like in a way, I know that a female is weaker physically than me, but if we're both managers and we get a bunch of shipment and she's struggling there, she's probably 100 pounds. You know what I'm saying? She didn't get the job because they said in the application, make sure you're able to lift 50 or 60 pounds. Maybe that's not in there.
Mm-hmm.
But for some reason, we get shipment and it's extremely heavy. She's struggling there. Like, and I come over, oh, let me help you out. Let's do a buddy system. Lift with our legs, not with our back or lower back. You know, you're gonna get it. Lift with our legs. We'll do. You know, in the sense of that, it's like, well, damn, I could do that shit by myself.
Faster.
But we get paid the same.
Mm.
You know, so in that regard, it's like that's like a double standard where if we have a superior, they could say, yeah, well, if the box is heavy, the women shouldn't pick it up.
Mm.
The
That's
men
true.
should do it. You know, so that's a double standard that I'm saying that a man who has emotional intelligence, you know,
Accepts.
accepts. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
In a sense, it's like he could bitch and, yeah, but we get paid the same. But it's like the other double standard is the complaining. Because most guys, if they complain, nothing will be done. The women complain, a lot of shit will be done. Sexual harassment. That was implemented when
Mm-hmm.
the woman got in there.
Yeah.
You know, and it became co-ed and stuff of that nature. So with that regard, it's like why would they implement sexual harassment with just all guys? Like niggas be in the closet. Niggas don't know they gay, but that's not common. Like, why would they even do that? Dudes just naturally like girls. Well, we're
Mm.
not gonna do that. The women come in, it's more so in that. Look, I talked about this in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if I was in a job hypothetically in the past and a woman is bending over in front of me? I know she likes me, right? But I'm not giving her play. Hey, I'm very strict. I don't shit where I eat. Boom, boom, boom. I know women could get you in trouble. Every time there's a downfall of a man, there's a woman involved. We've seen it.
Okay.
Losing careers, all that shit. Sponsors. And I'm aware of this, right? So I'm strict. She passing by and we're in a tight situation, literally, and she rubbing her titties up against me. And I complain. And let's say my superior, our superior, maybe we're both managers, is a male DM or a vice president. And he's just like, dude, just fuck her. Like, I mean, I got a wife at home, but I do my thing. Like, why are you complaining for? The woman say maybe he made a comment. So we was all having lunch and he said something like he did like last night or went out for a party. He said a dick reference. Very aggressive. Very aggressive. She could lie too.
Yeah.
And in a sense, it's like, God damn, we need to look into this. We need to look into this guy. Does he have a history of sexual harassment? Maybe not even taking both sides yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a double standard as well, that it's like in a sense of how can you deal with that?
Mm-hmm.
By making sure you fucking with the right women. A lot of them you can't trust in the workplace.
I remember I sent you something because it goes so well with this topic about that young man.
Or you know, simply like keeping your distance. Like, don't make it personal. Like, a lot of women like to make it personal. Like, don't make it personal. Because I don't do this. I got my own store and all that stuff. But, like, I say one break at a time. Like, nobody's ever going on break at the same time. So, me, I eat by myself. But let's say some boardrooms, they go out. So when it's break time, everybody take break at the same time. Like, for example, in the law enforcement, when they say, oh, you know, we're taking break, they usually take an hour, 2 hours break. Judges, all that, they probably all in there together. Your attorney that's supposed to be defending you is laughing with the district attorney. They all on the same team. So they all eating lunch together. Like, maybe it's a situation like that, boardroom shit. If you're in a situation like that and you're a guy, how would you deal with it? By keeping it professional. The bitch wants to joke around, you don't entertain that.
That's true.
That's why I'm saying, like, it's that's a double standard. In society, double standards. Like, there's situation like here I was reading about. I went to Reddit. And it says double standards in certain relationships. Like, for example, Men are often admired for having sex with many women, while women are often
Mm.
criticized and shamed for having sex with many men.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a double standard.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, like the guys are like, "Oh, he's a stud, she's a slut," right? Um, Most women today, like they're oblivious to that concept.
Yeah, that's true.
They believe that male whores exist. Like, you're a male whore.
Yeah, he's for the streets.
Yeah, he's for the streets. They believe those expressions or terms are real. You know, they believe in community dick. I've heard that.
I've heard that
And
too.
that's another thing that doesn't exist. But like, where are they getting this stuff? Because they're oblivious to double standards.
I mean, community dig, that's just saying that he's going around with different women. That's not really. I mean, how is that a double standard?
Well, maybe that's your definition of it, but can we get a
Yeah.
general definition of what that really is in it's an urban dictionary, right?
Yeah, you may look
Cuz
it
cuz maybe that's not really what it is. It's subjective.
Mm.
Like, community, what does that mean to you? If it's for the community, could it mean that that person gets passed around, used?
Oh,
Let's say that's what it is. You could look it up, but let's say that's what it is. Let's say that's what a community object is, right? But let's say the object is a person.
okay. Community dick, nickname for a man that sleeps with several women in the same general area. Male version of a neighborhood slut.
Okay. That is subjective too.
Male number one, that boy be with all the bitches. Male number two, yeah, he has that community dick.
Okay, so okay, so that's true on a sense of one view. Let's say the other view is you're being passed around, like you're being used. That a community water fountain
Okay.
that's non-segregated, like it's not back in the day, right? Everybody could use it. White, Jew, Chinese,
Right, it's like the
Latino.
one in the playground that
Yeah,
everybody uses.
that's a community water fountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that's a person. So who could get passed around more, men or women?
Women. I've heard the term passed around for women, not men. But I've
Yeah,
heard community dick.
yeah. So in regards to that, it's like, if I feel like you're being used in a sense of, we're talking in a sexual aspect, I feel like more women are used for that than men are used. Because, like, and this is subjective, right? I'm just making it subjective, my opinion, because, like, you could go to prior shows, manhandle. You remember that? I was making you laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no such thing as woman handle. You could
Mhm.
make it up. So I believe men dominate women in every fashion. In that regard specifically, it's just common, right? Like, is it common for you that way, or have you seen, or do you believe women can dominate men sexually?
Dominate men sexually,
Yeah.
like in the act of it? No.
Okay. So it's common for what I said.
Yes.
So it's not. So then that would mean that men don't get used for their tool. They give it, like they're blessing you, especially if it's good.
Yes. Normally, yes.
So women get used.
Yes. More often than
So
not,
that's why I was
correct.
saying, like, the community thing. So some people might
Yep.
look at that in a sense because they're oblivious to double standards. So they're just
Mm.
thinking, oh, well, if you sleep around with multiple women, you're going to get shamed too. You're going to be a man, or da, da, da. Nobody's going to like you. Everybody's going to treat you like shit. Nobody's going to respect you. And then if I do it too, and I'm a woman, same thing. Meanwhile, it's false. Like, it's 100% false Even research shows that even my dad would be like, and he's a reverend. He'd be like, don't tell your mom, don't tell your mom, mommy. But
Well,
you know what I'm saying. But I'm just telling you, like you know what I'm saying.
what I was gonna say is, I think though, just like everything, times are changing, and I think that okay, like for instance, God, I hate putting her business out there, but like my daughter, she was talking, to a boy that she knows, and he told her how many bodies he had, which wasn't a lot, but she was like, "Oh, you're for the streets. I don't want a guy that's been, sleeping around like that." And I asked her, I was like, "Well, I was curious because when I was growing up, I'd rather have had a guy that had more
I was just
experience."
about to say that.
Right. So I asked her, I didn't shame her. I was just like, "Oh, that's interesting. Like, why do you see that? Like, why do you think of it like that?" And she just said that if it boiled down to more of a connection. Like she wanted to have more of a connection with somebody, and she feels a person that has a lot of bodies, it's hard to have that connection.
And that makes sense when she explained it,
Right.
because she's
Exactly.
thinking more of a spiritual aspect.
Exactly. So I was like,
But
oh.
her first comment at it, like me, I'm initially looking at it like, oh yeah, she's more modern, even though she's your daughter, being raised traditionally. She's more modern. That's why she thinks like that. A traditional woman, like, would just be like, oh well, I expected that. Goddamn,
Exactly.
like if I came out and I was like, and I said, like, I had a whole bunch of bodies, which is not true. But if I was saying like, oh, I had like 100 bodies, like a lot of women would not be surprised,
Right. They
because
would
like,
actually expect it from you.
yeah, they would expect it. Oh, look how he looks.
Double standard.
Tattoos. He's a dominant. Like they would just the stereotype of probably how I look is how I should act.
Correct.
And how I should act is how I should speak. Like it's just a contradiction if you don't. Well, you're dominant, and this is what I only saw
You're
the
a
lifestyle
walking
as, and you're a
contradiction.
walking contradiction. You see what I'm saying? So, in a sense of that, they would just expect it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they wouldn't fight it. It would the irony is it would probably draw them more to me, because like you were saying, he has to have experience, because it's like psychology, repetition. Been doing something for so long, it's muscle memory.
Even looks, that's a contradiction. Like, because you look, you're attractive, and the lifestyle that you lead, that they automatically think, well, he should have 1,000 bodies under his belt. Same thing with a good-looking woman. Well, she's beautiful, she must have, and meanwhile she could be so quiet.
And one thing I will say, if you didn't tell me about that part about your daughter, I would just stick it as modern, straight up. But when she expounds and she says that, it makes sense how she wants to be in her preference, because she's thinking on the spiritual aspect as energy, right? And it's better in a sense of how she's saying it versus, because I've heard this. Well, why? Because I will always ask women why. Well, I don't share my dick. See, that puts them in the wrong. You ain't never claiming a man, but okay, if you want to think like that, that puts them in the wrong, because I ain't gonna share my dick. Or they're like,
I'm possessive.
I don't share whatever it is, this and that. But they making it more about, in a sense of me. They're not thinking about more in-depth diseases. They're not thinking more about bodies, energies, those detox. Like, they're not thinking of it maybe in a sense of how your daughter is looking at it. They're looking at it more in a sense of themselves, only in a sense of ego and pride. Not even your health. You know what I'm saying? It's on the top of the list. It's more, I don't want to share my dick because I am a selfish woman and I want all the time and attention and stuff like that. And I'm dominant myself. I'm possessive, territorial, and boom boom. And I don't want this and I don't want that. And I'm jealous. So in a sense of that regard, they're making it solely about them in a sense of ego, not more of the spiritual aspect.
Got
you. So most women will think like that, not in the spiritual aspect like your daughter.
But so you're saying though that if it's not in the spiritual aspect and it's selfish, like how most women think,
they're oblivious to the double standard.
Oh, it's just that they're oblivious.
They're oblivious to the double standard.
Got you.
Is it wrong? I don't care. I'm like, I'm like, somebody's not gonna say
that to you.
to me.
Gotcha.
Like, oh, you had so much years in this lifestyle, 17. You probably had a lot of subs. Yeah, I can't fuck with you because I want a dom that never had one before.
Mm.
And I'm like, and I'm gonna just, okay, good luck with your future endeavors. Like, I don't care.
Mm.
You know? So in a sense that would never be real because come on, no woman would be going for that guy to put her life on the line. You know what I'm saying?
Not
Complete
no.
submission, and he don't have no experience.
Right. That's scary.
No woman is that dumb. She wouldn't do that. She wouldn't. It just wouldn't make sense. Like you ever drove before? No, this is the first time. I don't know how to drive either. So we're just gonna wing this. Hope we don't get into an accident. Let's pray. Let's pray before we do it. Like that's an analogy I'm using.
Pray.
So that's what I'm saying. No woman would like go with a dumb that never had a sub before.
Unless she didn't know about being a sub and they're like, fuck it, let's do it together. Then I could see that happening. But that is pretty scary.
So
though.
like in that regard, they're fighting double standards.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they don't know how to live with it. It's in direct correlation, I believe, with the gender equality. Because if you're okay with no, I'm sorry, gender equality. If you're okay with
That's not what you said?
no, yeah, I did. Gender equality is what I meant. I said inequality. I think.
Well, okay.
I have to run it back. So, if you're okay with gender inequality, then you're also okay with the double standard. So see they go hand in hand, I believe. Yeah. I might be wrong. You know what I'm saying?
But that's why I went back to, initially when I said the gender or the group or the person that the double standard is kind of working for them, if they knew about it, would they really want to change anything? It's working on their behalf.
Most of the time, women, because I believe they use their brain more efficiently, even though men have bigger brains, like women, because that's all they, just let me explain, right? That's all they had to work on back in the day. That's how they got away from the saber-toothed tigers. Manipulation. They use their brains. They're socially receptive, so they had to like use other qualities because they weren't strong physically and stuff.
Okay.
So they had to be diabolical mentally.
Okay.
Even if you're looking at that as bad.
Okay.
So in regards, like they're gonna be more of a thinker, right? Calculating, strategic with their moves. So where I'm going to is more women, even at a younger age, are more aware of double standards that favor them than men. Like there's a lot of things that men or boys are oblivious to. Like they don't know themselves. They don't know how powerful they are. They don't know men lead, women follow. They don't know the law of God. They don't know themselves.
That's true.
They don't know they're a God themselves. A lot more women will be like, oh shit, well, yeah, I could cry, get this, did it with my daddy. I could do it in a relationship. Well, I could get in the club for free. I could pout. I could put a little, sexiness, wink a little bit and get my way, get a better deal.
Get a better job.
I could cry grape and lie and it will work in my favor. I can, white woman, call the police at Central Park on the black man because I'm not just a woman, I'm white. Like they're
a white
aware.
woman calling cops on a black woman.
Yeah. Yep. But they're aware, but we're talking about women and men.
Right. Well, inequality.
Yeah, they're aware when triggers arise. Then like that, our subconscious is kicking in.
Yeah.
That's what I feel. But I think that like men are just, due to ancestry, evolution, go about it. Like we just move on. Most men, you don't even hear them talking about shit. Every time you hear some shit happens, family, breakup, marriage, cheating, you always hear the woman's side. Yep. And the guy is just like, fuck it, what the fuck I'm gonna do? Spend all day on social media and shit. I gotta get the bag. Fuck that. Niggas don't, I'm ghost. Niggas don't fucking see me. I'm ghosting. I'm out. Like, niggas don't see me. I'm low key. Real G's move in silence. Like, let her keep talking. I'm out. Like, that's how most dudes are. Like, versus women get emotional. So hell has no fury like a woman scorn. And they take that to the extreme, and it's the sense of when triggers arise, that's probably when they remember the double standards favor them. Most guys
Oh,
don't
triggers
use
arise.
like the double standards to their advantage. So remember this earlier in this segment, I said I implement that in my relationships.
Mm-hmm.
That's a prime example.
Yeah, that's true.
So me knowing myself and my worth and what I'm gonna bring to the table, and I'm not saying she's not valuable and she's not gonna bring um
Her own value.
her own value
Mm-hmm.
or great things to the table, but I know what I'm gonna bring, as a man, and how prominent that name, that title is in the world, right? So in regards to that, I could implement this, and it's like, well, you could take it or leave it.
Mm-hmm.
Versus most dudes don't know that, a certain double standards or whatever that could favor them to even the playing field. Because when you look at it, when a man and when a boy and when a girl are born, like we could talk about inherited value and all this stuff, but like when you look at it, we are not equal. So everything that I mentioned of how we are going to, in summary, coddle the woman, that's showing that there's some substance there that favors her that won't that boy. Remember we brought Chris on here a couple of times, but the last one we had
Yes.
it was about
His daughter.
no. The topic was something about how come men have to learn how to educate. It might not be verbatim.
Yeah, I remember now.
Men are educated on how to treat the woman, but there's no education on women how to treat the men.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about, because he said that he works in the school or something. Like I said, it
Mm-hmm.
may not be
Oh,
verbatim.
that's right. It wasn't his daughter. It
So,
was school. Yeah.
and he was saying something about, and he used a prime example that was phenomenal. Oh, well, when the girl hits the boy,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, oh, it's playful. The boy hit the girl, same act. They're playing. Don't do that, Timmy. Let's sit him down. Let's make sure that this does not fester into something crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
And
they
he
also
fosters all these behaviors to thinking that's how you have to treat women. No. But they don't have those stern conversations with the girl, Kimberly.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Or Tanisha and Jerome.
Right, but for a long time, they used to be like, well, that's how little boys show that they like the girls by pulling their hair or punching them in the arm.
Yeah, but
But it's true. There
maybe
is
that's not. I
that
don't
even
know.
still to this
Maybe
day, I
your
hear that.
time.
Oh, hell no, you didn't just say maybe your time. And
You know what I'm saying?
what?
But I'm just looking at from my experience what I've seen. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And heard. You know what I'm saying?
Also,
Like
I want to make it a point to say that is usually, I mean, from my knowledge, it's in this country that you're saying that inherent value at birth, because in, like, let's say other
other
countries like
countries.
China, they'll throw the little girl off a cliff. I saw
Yes,
a documentary
yes,
about the orphanages
yes.
over there. They have little baby girls that they leave them to
It's
die.
good you brought that up.
And
So
that
yes,
is
I'm
a double
talking
standard
strictly
from this
yes,
country. This
this
country has
country.
everything about this country is a double standard.
Yeah.
We're allowed to, this country, you know what, if we're going to go more globally and not just, men and women, this country can go and bomb other countries and expect, those people that we've destroyed their homes not to come to this country.
Hmm.
That's a double standard.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know where that came from.
Yeah. But I mean, you're right. But
Yeah, that's
that's
crazy though.
hmm that's like my take on it. I think that they wouldn't know how to handle it if they were more aware. Um, because then, like I said in the last show, when we had the bullet, it would put you in a restriction like frame
Mm,
for most people. And like I know me, like I know it is, right? I live in reality.
right.
So I'm walking out there into the world knowing that double standards exist that favor me that don't the woman, and vice versa. So I move strategically with women. I move
You're smart.
strategically in these places. Like, here's another thing. Let's take gender opposite sex out of it. Let's put gender same sex, right?
Okay.
The Jew, the Chinese, Asian, whatever you want to say, I could be better than them. I could be on the same level of intellect than them. I could have been in different environments. East Flatbush, Brooklyn, now live in Long Island. They could have been in China, now they live in America or wherever, Hollywood, Beverly Hills, right? And we do the same job. We get paid the same, or maybe not. They get paid more than me, but I'm way overqualified. They're just qualified for it, but I'm way overqualified. They get taken at face value. Me, I gotta constantly transform. Tone it down, right? Tone it down. Too aggressive. I gotta constantly transform to meet expectations, and then I gotta transform again to exceed expectations, to just get a glance. A glance. Not, oh, let's look at this guy. God damn, he been doing so much great things for so long. Consistent. So that's a prime example of double standards. But for me, I look at it like, yo, being that like I said, I'm navigating into there strategically of, yes, certain things are going to work in my favor of, yes, being underestimated is actually an advantage.
That's
in that
good
regard,
that you were able to turn it around.
and then looking at it in a sense of also, well, the things I learned from the streets I can implement, so I have an advantage over you. Because when pressure situations come down and shit lose it all or whatever it is, or we get down to the struggle, I know how to do that because I come from that. You don't. I can learn that because I'm aware of it and I'm accepting it, and this is how I'm navigating through it, but can't cry over spilled milk to be like, oh, this is unfair, and maybe if I complain it, then I could file racism and stuff like that, work in my favor, lawsuits and whatnot. But looking at a sense of, you know what? I just gotta work harder. I just gotta do this. And in regards to that, if I keep doing what I'm doing, then maybe I could do this or get out of there and get my own shit, get my own bag, start my own thing. You know, now when we look at the woman and the man, we could take black man, black woman. We could take black man, Asian woman, and we could say the same thing in that regard as well. You know, and the man, and it's like the woman could project and be like, well, this is not fair. You're being treated this way, and that's not fair, and this is what you should do. And the guy is like, yo, I'm good with this now, and okay with working my way to the ladder, even if it's harder for me. Because trust me, it's always going to be better for me when I get there. They were born there, so they don't know how, when they drop, what they're going to do.
To climb back
and
up.
Eventually they're going to drop. So they don't know there. Me, I'm just going to do it and get there because everything I'm doing, there's a benefit to it. There's like, because I did this years ago, that's why I'm a master at it now, versus somebody getting at it, and that's why you suck at your job.
Because they've never been it.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, so I'm willing to do that because I could see the silver lining. Because maybe, because looking at it in the sense of, things don't favor me, but I could take the positive out of that. Yeah, I created a lot from nothing.
That's because you have that emotional intelligence.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying a lot of people not having that, it would be a problem if they were aware. Like, I'm aware of it. I'm showing you in living color, like, this is real shit.
Yeah.
Real shit. You know, that it's like, I'm a real living inspiration about the shit going on, that most people got there kissing ass, stabbing other people in the back, doing other things. And it's like, yo, it's very rare for you to get this capital to reach this echelon financial status to keep your integrity, your character, your principles. That's what I always pray for every day
Mm-hmm.
because it's hard, right?
Definitely.
So that's the structure that it's like, damn, but how was that able to be not just sustainable, but to actually be present?
Mm.
Because it's consistent, but how were you able to do that? How were you able to do that to get that? Because that's not fathomable.
Mm. Jesus, they're
You know,
out tonight.
you know what I'm saying? Like that's not fathomable.
Mm. So wait, let me ask you a question. Do you think that it would change if people knew the unknown, or you don't think? Because I don't, like I
There
said.
would be a change, of course. Now, if you're talking about change in effect of positive or whatever it is, no, we gotta talk in depth now. We gotta expound, right? Because if you're saying change, yeah, if I'm a technical beast, yeah, there'll be change, whether it's negative or positive. There's gonna be a change.
How
But
much
but if
change?
you're talking about change in a positive way, now we talking different. But if you
Yeah, but
just
that's
say
speculation too.
if you're just saying change, of course there's gonna be a
Mm.
change. Shit would be riots. That's the change. Shit would be crazy.
Definitely,
Your wife guy would probably leave you. She would
definitely
probably start throwing shit,
the
being abusive physically.
the group that it doesn't favor
Yeah,
would
so
definitely have, an uproar.
yeah,
That
so there would be a change in that regard. So now let's if we were talking about would there be a positive change? Would there be a negative? Like would it change in a negative way? Would it change in a positive way? I don't think it would change in a positive way. I
you
think it
don't
would be
think?
worse. I think a lot of people not just don't know themselves, they don't know what's going on. They don't even know a lot of these terms. Alpha,
Mm.
beta, women don't know these things, men don't know these things, submissive. Like, just to give examples, but let alone about these things, like these are the basic fundamental things I'm talking about that our ancestors was talking about,
Yeah.
traditional. But to talk about the extreme, we gonna make a lot of their brains hurt.
Yeah,
And
that's
I'm not
true.
talking about our fans.
No,
We
they
got a
know.
lot of smart fans.
That's right.
That's why they follow us.
That's right.
But
Tune in every
people
Thursday.
that are like oblivious to it, it would make their brain hurt. It would give them anxiety, short attention span.
And then
So
you
let's
have,
just keep this right here and just love this, even if it's fucked up.
I was about to say, then you got those people that are like, I don't want to know. I just want to be in my bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
wild to
if you
me.
think about it, I believe, right? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. It would be a negative change. Like the change would be catastrophic. I believe. I
Mm,
don't think it would be, oh, well, you know what? Like, yeah, ladies, like, yeah, it's okay for men to fuck bitches. Like, that's what they do. Like, oh, your man cheated? Girl, put your big girl panties on, cry, get it over, and y'all gonna get married. How y'all have been like 3 years? Like, y'all gonna get married. Like, just let them do that shit. Like, I'm just saying that
no, no,
that's
no,
not real. That's not
no,
realistic.
no,
I'm
no,
just,
no. But what I'm saying is that you do see that more often now, though. Other girls being like, there's no need to fight. Let's have, a family. I've seen that more now than I ever have in the past.
nah, that's a poly mentality woman. That's not common. And if you're saying that
I mean, they
now,
have shows about it too. Sister wives.
okay. Well, nowadays, yes, there are some women that are being woken um because they're attracted to the men they're advocating for. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? And they want a long-term relationship and they're starting to realize if you can't beat them, join them. The cop is the alpha on the street. Yeah, I have family in law enforcement. I got a badge and all that. But when he stops me, I know what to do. I'm not crazy. I'm
That's
not
good.
crazy on the mouth. I'm not, I put both hands on the wheel. Like, I know what to do to teach a young black man how to navigate and play human chess in that regard.
That's important.
I know you get more sugar than vinegar. Put your ego aside, dude, and your pride in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
And take accountability, you have to. 99% of the chance, he gonna let you off with a warning. If you don't got credentials like me and know people that like I do. But in the regards to that, it's like navigating in that realm is what can make you successful of the knowledge.
Mm.
So most people are going in there like just like oblivious. Equality, all these things or whatever it is, like they're oblivious to it.
Mm-hmm.
You
That's
know what I'm
true.
saying? And it is dangerous in regards because, you know, they're gonna enter those type of situations like unprepared, and it most likely will result in negative,
Yeah.
you know,
Scary too.
negative results.
Mm-hmm.
So in regards to that, like I understand that the cop is the alpha on the street. So there's certain laws that it's like, yo, if I'm giving him lip where it's like, yo, dude, I was doing fucking 50 on the 75. My meter said you was doing 77, 80, 85. Nah, I was doing 50. Like, this dude could just be like, yo, I don't like this dude's attitude. I'ma slap him with a ticket. And he could fight that or not, or go to court, or whatever it is. What am I gonna do? Oh, fuck this ticket? It's on a record.
Mm.
Like I said, he's the boss. So women today, and I use that analogy to bring to my point because I'm always getting to a point, even though I'm cooking. Women are starting to realize, well, we don't control relationship and commitment. Back in the days we did. Yeah, it's true. The man does get the ring. Even though I'm being like a feminist today, but I do want traditional. She don't realize that. So most of the women today are now starting to be spiritually awoken, and they're realizing if you can't beat them, join them. So I got to accept this stuff because I want happiness. I've accepted worse in the past.
That's true.
So you know what? Fuck it, let's put the pride and ego aside. And that's why now they talk like that, like you said, because they're realizing, well, there's aspects in the femininity I do control, and there's aspects in the masculinity I don't. Relationship and commitment, I don't, even though I say I want to. It's not even scientific, or you look it up. I've never witnessed a woman being on one knee. No, let me stop. I have. I've seen it on TV.
Yeah.
But I never seen it in person. Growing up, I never thought that's how it goes.
Growing up, no.
You see, so in regards to that, like the woman, 90% of the time, oh, what you want to do today? Where you want to go eat? She's indirectly saying that you're controlling things. Even though we're not saying these words because they're probably triggers and don't control me, don't say that. That makes me feel like you're disrespecting me. But he is.
Just tell me where we're gonna go eat.
Tell me,
Don't control me. Just tell me where we're gonna eat now.
Go eat.
The conversation me and my daughter have, she's like, I'm hungry. Me too. Where you want to go? I don't know. Where you want to go? I don't know. No, you pick. That's it. Somebody pick because it ain't going to be me.
So they're starting to realize that, okay, we gotta...
It could work that way.
We gotta get along.
Exactly.
To get along. You know what I'm saying? So you get that?
Yes.
So people that don't get that, we gotta get along, play nice, so we could get along, move on. You know what I'm saying? Get to the promised land. He's trying to take us to divinity. Let's get it.
Let's go.
So I gotta put this pride and this ego aside. I don't really like it. Like that's what they're starting to realize because they're starting to realize also their power and what favors them. And they're like, well, yeah, he wouldn't want to do this, and yeah, I could cry grape and do this and work in my favor. I could use my sexual talents and get whatever I want, money wise, this, that, get paid for. A homeless woman's gonna always have some place to live. She could be rich and have half of what you make. You know, he had an affair, half of what you make. Now she's rich. Oh, ain't gonna happen to a homeless man. You know, like she's aware of all these things. So she accepts the inequality because she's looking at it as it is kind of equal in regards to the
gender role,
to the genders. You know what I'm saying? It is kind of equal to the genders. Like you're talking about if women came in the warehouse industry and they're complaining why they're not getting equal pay. Girl, I know how to drive a forklift. Do you? I took a test and everything for that. They had to observe me and all that. I know how to drive a forklift. So if you don't, why are you complaining? I'm doing what most men is doing. You want to get that? Then start doing the man shit. Oh, the firefighter who always has to go in there and put somebody over their shoulder. But the girl don't do it. Now she's complaining. Yeah, but I'm just speaking hypothetical.
Oh, okay.
You and I do know they have to, but I'm just speaking hypothetical. Let's say they didn't. The federal agent, stay here. Chulita, stay here. Tranquila. We're gonna go in there and handle it. These cartel. What's she doing on the walkie? They get paid the same.
Well, sometimes they have to be put, in those dire circumstances too. Be a stripper or hooker or something to go under. What is it? Undercover.
Undercover.
Incognito. I was gonna say.
Yeah, but
But for the
but would the man do that? You see,
Do
you
what?
you see,
Yeah.
proving my point for the double
They
standard. A
do.
dude wouldn't be stripping.
No, not stripping, but
So you gonna take the fat dude and got a belly and shit like that? Yo,
make believe he's the mob boss. He's fat. He's eating. That means he got the money.
Not all mob bosses are fat.
No, but like you've heard. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. But go ahead.
I've heard what?
No,
Now
no.
I'm curious. Inquiring
because-
minds want to know.
Because we were talking about the going undercover, but like they were back in the days, the cops went so undercover that
Yeah,
they were, tainted.
Most of the time, they're gonna get a male informant, criminal informant. Very rare you getting the females,
female druggie.
unless they feel that she bad, she could influence them sexually, get them with let's put her in there. But it's dangerous. It's still dangerous. Like they gotta be monitored. Yo, the moment get a code word, I'm getting you out there the first day. Still the same in the regards to the double standards. Like if we are aware of this, we navigate well. But you got to understand that that's a situation where it's like, yo, this is male dominating. You want to get in here, don't expect to be getting the same thing because you might, I'm not saying you will, but you might most likely not want to do what he's doing.
That's true.
He's taking more risk. He's driving the crane.
You know where
He's
else?
lifting the heavy shit.
You know where else we see a lot
The
of
buildings in Times Square. Who do you think did that?
That's true.
So, you see?
A lot of times we see double standards in like the social classes. Like you're rich, you don't have to pay taxes that much. You're poor, you have to give up your first child.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of double standards with that.
Yep.
How
Upper
about
class, middle class,
not only that,
race.
some of the CEOs, they give themselves 15 point something, 23% raise, but their workers who bust their ass day after day, going sick and all that, sometimes they give them like a 1% raise in over 8 years.
Yeah.
Like, why would you have to pay yourself? First of all, because I'm only bringing this up because I saw it in Congress. All the people that Trump wants to put into office, they don't have
great credentials.
Right, they're not qualified. So
yeah, it
a
feels
lot
like
of double
you trust
standards for
them.
that.
You know, so I mean, if you're in a position of power, like this is another double standard. We could be like, oh, fuck with it, but yo, he's in charge. Like, yo, move to a different country. Shut up, get along, go get along. Like, get down or lay down. What they say in the back in the days. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's the boss. So in a sense, like I'll say it with me, like I run a couple of businesses. The physical store, like you coming in here, like I'm putting everything, making it transparent. You know what you're getting into. Go work at Michael Kors. Go work at Guess.
That's true, but every store or every, there's rules that you got to follow too as a boss.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And he's not even doing that. That's another double standard.
Yeah.
Why can he go and do whatever he wants? You're not going by what Congress says and all that stuff.
And he can get impeached.
We should hope.
But here's the thing. It's shit conspiracy though.
Oh yeah.
So we talking like you talking like this, but come on, man. They all on the same team. He was calling Biden. We had a Patreon. Let's not give him this because people are paying for that. We had a Patreon joint. Come on.
I know.
Team like the commissioner in the NFL. Going to both. Hey, this person's gonna win today. Come on, bro.
It don't matter. Right hand, left hand.
Vegas wants this.
Same body.
Yes. So the thing is, like, when you look at it in that regard, like, there's inequality and there's double standards in everything. Sexism, that's why it's present. With the genders, race, workplace, and it just comes down to like what I do. I play human chess. I'm you got chills. I'm calculating.
That's how you have to be.
I'm methodical. I'm meticulous with moving the pieces on the board. So in regards to that, like for me, it's not gonna work in my favor to just pout and real. Like, I know it. Now that I know what it is, even if it's not working in favor, that's the first thing. Knowledge. Right?
Mm.
Knowledge of self. I always say about that. Knowledge.
Period.
So knowledge is not really fuel for power, even though I've said that in the past. It's really applied knowledge that's fuel for power.
Yep.
So that's what you're doing. So now it's like, okay, I figured this out. It ain't gonna work in my favor. Now I got the knowledge. What can I do with it?
Work with it. Yep.
You know what I mean? Like stealth mode,
Mm-hmm.
to work in my favor.
Like a ninja.
Yeah. So in regards to that, it's like, if I get with a gorgeous woman, I know that there's a lot of double standards, a lot of favoritism geared towards
Her?
that's not going to favor me. Might be a situation when we get pulled over.
Mm.
And the cop, I talked about this in Dom and Sophia, the book that I wrote.
Mm-hmm.
When they
One
were
of the
kids,
books. Mm-hmm.
when they were kids, I say kids like teens, and then they got pulled over and she stashed something,
Mm-hmm.
which is why it led to him marrying her.
Mm-hmm.
What if there's a situation like that and the cop is like a horny bastard, doesn't have sexual discipline, and is influenced by her beauty?
Mm-hmm.
And that is what helps you from getting off. That's a double standard. But even in that regard, it helped them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's so crazy that this is not just one aspect.
Yeah, it's like so many.
Yeah,
And so many different not subjects, but areas.
Yeah, so if you can realize this, I think you can navigate more strategically, in a sense where, listen, remember when we didn't talk about, we did talk about, fuck I'm doing, the triggers episode we had, I think 166, part 2, how to identify triggers. That one, when I said that, if you can, like, what would I do to avoid those male feminists so they don't trigger me? Avoid those male feminists. I gave the answer.
Avoid them.
Yeah, avoid them.
I know the answer.
Don't absorb that. Whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stay away from social media, maybe. That's the thing that's in your algorithms. Like, what can you do so you won't get triggered? Because maybe triggering you will get you this, whatever, blah, blah, and that helps you be disciplined. In that regard, with the double standards, accept the ones that favor you, accept the ones that don't.
Yeah.
And then also try to accept it in a fashion of, really you're okay with it. Like, you have emotional intelligence. It's not like, God damn, man, like your whole fucking day is ruined. You can't sleep. You're depressed. You're throwing yourself. You're trying to commit suicide because you're looking at it like, well, women can get everything they want, and especially from the opposite sex, and they don't gotta work. Like, dude, just hustle. Like, just go over here, because you gotta understand, this is the double standard. Let me help some of y'all out if y'all young men are listening to me. Girls have a peak window of opportunity to get everything they want. Remember, beauty declines. That's not going to last. So if a woman is just using her beauty and not her mind, trust me, there's an expiration date on that, and that's only going to get her so far.
That's true.
You have to understand that you're like fine wine, and I use that analogy to make you understand that you get better with age if you stay consistent and stay on your shit. That now things start to favor you, and it becomes like this for women. We were kind of born like this, and now it's like this.
That's so true.
And I'm not trying to be cruel.
No, it's true. It's
I'm
funny.
just being honest.
It's awful.
And in regards to that, if you learn that, then you won't commit suicide. Then you won't feel depressed. You'll listen to guys like me who's trying to lead you to the promised land in life. That's not telling you, well, you gotta make $100,000. You gotta be this height. You gotta have this six pack. You gotta look like this. You gotta have muscles and tattoos. No, no, no. You could get bad bitches with $50,000 a year. You could get bad bitches with 90K, 95K. You know what I'm saying?
You sound like you're like promoting something on TV. Like you too can get bad
Yeah,
bitches.
you too. And there's more. And there's more. Like like, come on, man. Come on. I've seen the brokest dudes. Come on, man. This is reality. This is reality. So for them, I would say a woman should not be your concern because you got to look at your genetics and know that I got to build. Building is where I get my power. Building and creating. Building also myself. Because that's what's going to get me everything that I want. So if you're trying to get, like, it's like trying to get to Z before A. And they're trying to get Z, the women, before establishment of oneself. That's what they do. Instead of they should do A first.
Go down the steps,
and
man.
then now you're going to see that, yo, they probably going to come. I can speak from experience. Like, it's not common for women to chase men, but it's happened. I don't want to toot my horn, but I like to use real life experiences so they can learn from that. Because it's real shit. Like, I do this shit off the mic. Just because I'm on them, I was popping before social media was invented. So I'm just trying to say those type of stuff because it's giving them reality, these guys.
I like what you said about, having knowledge of self. Because you had said it's not just having knowledge, it's having applied knowledge. And it's not only having applied knowledge, but it's about having emotional control. Because you could know what to do, you could have the information, but if you don't have emotional control, you're gonna, every time something happens, although you know how to move, your anger issues is what's gonna fuck it up for you.
Yeah.
Your mouth that you don't know how to keep it shut because of your ego is gonna fuck it up for you. So you can have all the knowledge and you know how to apply it, but if you don't know how yourself and what's gonna trigger you or what's gonna calm you down or how to control yourself, you're gonna lose it all anyway.
Yep. My second book, The Importance of Discipline, I
Forget
talk
it.
about mental discipline, self-control, self-discipline. So those are along the lines of what you're saying. If you can master these things, this is verbatim in what I wrote in the book, you can conquer anything in the world. And that's what it comes down to. Because, like, we can mention so many different aspects. A couple of things: relationship, job, potential negotiations. Like, you can mess up some money.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how to control your emotions.
Yep. That's true.
Like, I fired some people because of that.
Yep.
And then they want to vandalize shit. It's like, and on camera too, I could press charges, but you're not smart. You just on some hood shit, like, or aggressive. And it's like, oh, that goddamn. I mean, I could have considered bringing you back, but look what you did. Like, you burned bridges. Like, you don't burn bridges, right? Like, that's somebody that has emotional intelligence. Okay, this didn't work. Let me not burn bridges because look where they're at. Who knows if I'm going to need them in the future.
Yeah, a reference.
Or let's fucking make money together.
Yeah.
Like, fuck all this beef.
Yeah.
Like, you know how much money we could be making? Like, we're leaving a lot of money on the table. Emotional intelligence. So in that regard, but and then the relationship. Remember the season finale? I said the power of submission.
Yeah.
Oh, daddy, can you get me to go? Like, oh, she's, her tone was amazing. She acts nicely.
Yeah.
You get more with sugar than vinegar. I was writing something. I was busy doing something, but you know what? I could always do this. I got like at least an hour to spare. I could give you 5 minutes. Let me take out the garbage. Yo, nigga, what'd I tell you? Like 2 times, like, you don't want to listen to me because you don't respect me. What the fuck? And then now it's like, maybe the passive aggressive guy, yeah, I'll do it. In his mind, fucking bitch, no,
Yeah,
I'm not
I'm
doing
busy.
it.
Yeah.
But he's telling you yes to shut you up. The aggressive guy is like checking you. No, I'm not doing that. Or I told you I would do it around this time. Don't tell me what to do. Boom, boom, boom. This. So
Then a big
in
fight
regards to
happens.
that, in regards to that, she's not getting what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I mean. The guy and how he's approaching. Maybe he's approaching with his wallet, but he's putting out there that he wants a meaningful relationship.
Okay.
And when he's approaching with his wallet and he's realizing that he's acquiring gold diggers and they don't give a fuck about meaningful relationship, you know what I'm saying? Now he's like feeling away, depressed, whatever, these bitches ain't shit. He has trauma because he's not aware, like he's looking at it in a sense of, well, you know, I'm not able to, you know, get along to get to this level of where I need to be versus I want to get in her mind. I want a meaningful relationship. I want to get in her mind. I'm not going to have sex with her on the first date because I know that's not going to make me respect her. I'm gone. Goddamn, she gave it up to me on the first night. Even if she was a great woman, bye. Like, why would I respect her? Even if she tells me I'm special, I never do this, I believe you do this. So no, I'm not gonna respect her. Bye. Goddamn, that could have been something great. Let me learn to respect her. Because that's gonna make her give me more of me. Provision, protection, and stuff of that nature. Let me get to know her. I want something meaningful. Let's go on dates. Let's talk over the phone. They don't do that anymore. Let's talk. I could talk for 2 hours straight. Like let's do it. Let's do these different things, different environments. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what he wants. He's kind of he's adhering to those like kind of traditional rules back in the days for him to get what he wants, right? That's what I mean. So it all goes back. Like I know I talk a lot, but I always get to my end goal. It goes back to can't beat them, join them. It goes back to staying in your place. It goes back to you gotta adhere to where you're not the boss. You gotta learn how to follow before you could lead. Nobody learns how to lead well if they never followed. So all these dudes or chicks coming out that's spoiled and entitlement, yo, that's on a path to disaster, path to harm. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be so bad for them. You know, so it comes down to like knowing that there's a hierarchy and respecting that. That's the summary. That's the summary. Knowing that there's a hierarchy and respecting that. The mafia structure, that's how the corporations, they copied that. That's why you see that's how it is. With the mob boss, then the underboss, then the capos, then the associates or the soldiers. They structure that through the analogy of the business, the associates closest to the money. They're taking, like maybe the soldiers on the street, they're closest to the money, they're taking the most risk.
Yep, and get paid the
Who's making the most?
The boss.
My boss, yeah. And then he's making the underboss eat and then split into the capos because the capos are the managers. Underboss is the vice president.
Hey.
And then the consigliere, CFO.
Oh.
So they all working together and they say, but there's a hierarchy. There's a hierarchy there to respect. Like, it's like, you know, put some respect on my name. You heard that title? That expression?
Yeah.
Put some respect on my name. Birdman started that.
Yeah, Birdman did that.
You know, so in a sense of that, it's like that analogy of understand the hierarchy. And then it's like if you're on the entry level, that's what you got to do. It almost an example like I've been living this life for 17 years, right? Let's say a woman wants to get into this lifestyle. If she's coming into this lifestyle acting wild, and you could put that context in any type of sense you want, it's subjective or define it how you want. She's acting wild. Like That's what I mean. Like, it doesn't make sense. She's not gonna get what she wants. She's gonna fail here. I'm
Mm.
gonna probably end up walking away. Maybe her dream guy is gone because she's not realizing that there's a hierarchy. Girl, I've been doing this.
Mm.
You didn't. This is what I mean. So in regards to, oh, you got a boss that you came in, he or she must have got there for a reason, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why are you coming in there like not adhering to
Mm.
rules?
Like trying to do your
Like
own thing.
shouldn't you give them some type of respect because they got there?
Mm-hmm.
I
Definitely.
mean, even if the bitch got there being on her knees or like power persuasion. Oh, let me go in this interview and wear cleavage.
Well, there's a
That's some type of sexual talent.
but
Then so
that
it's
could
like
also be a double standard though.
it is.
Because the girl with the cleavage who's willing to go down on her knees gets a job because she's prettier and or of to his taste she's prettier. Maybe she's blonde. He likes blondes. He
Mm-hmm.
don't like the brunette, but she's the one that's qualified mentally. Like she got the degrees and stuff, but you're not
Yeah.
willing to do what she's willing to do. That's a double
In
standard.
in a sense of somebody who's emotionally intelligent can respect their position.
Mm-hmm.
Now, their mentality and are they competent? Like, are they qualified for their job? Do they know how to do their job right? That's a different story. I mean, that's their own karma. And we don't play with karma, right? Like
Mm-mm.
you trying to run after discipline. Discipline, help me with karma. Nah, you on your own. Deal with God. You on your own. You should have never done that. I'm out. I'm trying to stay away from that. That shit
Mhm.
dangerous. So in regards to that, like that's their karma. I'm talking about respect in the sense of respecting the hierarchy. You could still respect her in her position.
Mhm.
Now, anything more is just looking more in depth. Now, if I said to myself, I want to learn leadership with her, probably not. Because if she got there specifically on that, they probably didn't train her right. Because they just like looking at her.
Mhm.
Oh, don't worry. You don't ever have to do that. Just hire mad niggas and they'll do it. We'll take care of all this shit for you. You never have to do it. Matter of fact, that motherfucker transfers.
Mm.
He gets promoted somewhere, maybe. Maybe he gets fired, resigns, whatever you want to say. And now, you're coming in there working with her. I'm coming in there working with her. And I start to see that she's not a great leader.
Right.
And I'm like wondering, well, damn, how'd you get here? Maybe I'm not that forward. I would be that forward. I've been with past bosses. And now I'm a boss. But I've been with past bosses. I'm that forward, but somebody may not be that forward. They just think it. Oh, you shouldn't talk to your boss like that. So they're thinking, God damn, bitch. Oh, damn, nigga, like, how'd you get
suck.
here?
Yeah.
In their mind,
Mm-hmm.
I know more than you. I'm doing more than you. Like, how'd you get here? So, in regards to that, it's like the different realm of thinking, going more in depth, I should say. But them getting there, it's, hey,
It's
that's
a
what
whole
it
different
is.
story. Mm-hmm.
You know?
All right. Do you have any final thoughts? Are we done?
I'm gonna give you another example. Remember when we were talking about mafia structure? Well,
Yeah.
not we, I was mentioning it.
Yeah.
Let's say the double standard was not respecting Gotti. We could say that like in New York of how we knew the most popular mobster. They all of them were like really embody that saying, real G's move in silence.
Not him.
A lot of the bosses didn't respect him because he didn't come from that realm,
Mm-hmm.
which is why he was like a what would you call it, like a fashion nova?
Not
Like he was
taking
all
over. Yeah, he was.
he was all up in the camera,
He
like
liked that.
which is taboo.
Yeah, he
Which
liked
is
it though.
taboo.
Yeah.
So like that in that what I mean in
Mhm.
regards to that in sense of oh wow like like how did he get to his position? We both know. I'm not gonna say let them do their research. Hint.
And you know what's funny about him?
Spark Steakhouse.
Oh,
But
Lord.
but in regards to that, right? People will maybe say same thing. Well, he didn't earn his spot.
Mm.
So the respect, you know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
the same thing of looking in depth. In regards to where they are, okay, I respected it because whatever you needed to do to get that took some balls, or that was mental, that was whatever, the woman showing cleavage, balls, or whatever. That took a lot of guts. So maybe I could respect that aspect. I would never do that, but I could respect you for doing it. But now when you look at in depth of, well, do they deserve to be in that position? Now that's when you look in depth of the really going in depth of, well, would he or she make us successful being in that position?
Mm.
No, because look what they doing or did.
They didn't do it the normal way, you're saying.
Yeah, because if they would have really earned their merit and learned their stuff, it would have been a different outcome where they're building other bosses and leading everybody to the promised land and really great at what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm not like trying to shit on Gotti or anything like that. I'm just using him as an example. In a sense
Rest in
of
peace.
in a sense of that. So, you know, I think that the double standards can come in so many different avenues,
Yeah, definitely.
and forms, and with
Mm-hmm.
gender and race and this and that. Like look at
Everything.
patriarchy, like male chauvinism and feminism. Back in the days, we could say that was a thing and it was respected. Now it's toxic. Women empowerment, maybe masked now as feminists or feminism, is more glorified, and that's acceptable. That's normal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's all of this stuff.
I agree.
Y-
There's double standards in everything.
Yeah.
There's
So
no way to get around it or away from it. You're just gonna either have to, how you said, learn, you know, the 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 signs of the double standard in your situation, and then learn how to control yourself in it and how to work it to your benefit. And then you're good to go.
no, absolutely. Final thoughts.
I just said mine. Goodbye.
Yeah. So if more people were aware of double standards, what is it?
If
Would
more
they?
people became more aware of the unknown double
Double standard.
standards, how much would they actually change? Would it change? And would things be normal or chaotic?
Yeah. So so it is what it is. Like if you're from New York, you know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Eh, c'est la vie in French.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's life. It is what it is.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So in regards to that, like, you know that there's shit out there, right? You know that it's fucked up. You know that maybe it's a fucked up world or whatever, whatever it is. But you take that and you don't allow it to affect you,
It's beautiful.
and if you think about it in that regard, you will survive.
Mm-hmm.
You will navigate. You will achieve what you want because you're like a horse now that's in the race with the blinders on. They're not supposed to look left, right, or behind because they're going to lose the race if they do that.
Mm-hmm.
So in that regard, like, yeah, I know there's fucked up shit here, but what can I do to make a difference?
Exactly.
What can I do? I'm gonna give you an example. Real life experiences. Pay attention. I'm a boss. I've been a boss for years, even if it was assistant, supervisor, whatever, general manager, regional, don't matter. I always been a boss. I'm a boss. So what can I do to make a change? When I hire people, especially women, treat them like the guys. So yeah, it was blah blah blah's turn to take out the garbage. But just because he's a man, he ain't gonna do that shit every day. You're here, so you gonna do it. You signed up for this job. That's what I could do to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like people can, what can I do to make a difference in a relationship? Well, when I enter like this in a double standard and put it on the table and see if she wanna rock with it or not, certain rules, boom, 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 you're gonna earn things because this, that, and I'm gonna earn you. Men lead, women follow. You do this, you get rewards. There'll be punishment. You'll be held accountable. Boom, 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 teaching you discipline and growth. Just in case we don't work out, you go there the best. Same thing in a job. You go there operating at your best because you are used to this. What am I doing? That's what I'm doing. So that's what I can change. You cannot change the shit around you.
No.
What you can change is what you allow around you.
Or how you react to things.
Or whom. You know, so that's what I mean. So when, let's say I'm bringing certain women, certain men around me, there's boundaries you're not going to cross. If you cross these more than once, then we have to sever ties as friends, business partners, whatever, relationship, intimate. We have to sever ties, or I'm going to hold you accountable. There'll be punishment, whatever it is in regards to that, what they discuss on. You know, they could do that to navigate into that. So they're not like, because you got to understand, this shit is trauma. And if you let it get to you, it's going to eat at you and it's going to kill you. If not figuratively, it will literally. You don't get sick. Like, because stress can make you sick. Depressed, all this stuff. It's going to make you sick. So how can you survive? How can you be healthy? By not absorbing the toxicity. I know it's there. Remember when I talked about in a relationship? Even if the woman posting her body on Instagram or whatever it is, I scrolled through and I saw it, and she's attractive. Maybe race preference, ethnicity, whatever. She's attractive. But she does this. Like, if I pursue her and get in a relationship with her, the OnlyFans girl who's producing adult content, and get in a relationship with her, I'm going to make myself sick. That's what I mean. So instead of doing that, I could find gorgeous women who are very traditional too. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that. They're a little bit harder to find, but they might have the same body type. But niggas ain't never seen it. God damn, I didn't know you look that good. God damn, shit. Yeah, I'm always covered. Holy shit. You shit all natural? Yep, all natural. Holy shit. Like, I never seen it. Yeah, I don't like to post my body online. Only special people could see this. So it's like in that regard, like, how can you make yourself not sick? Because if you are like me, a possessive and territorial man, it's gonna make you sick. You're gonna lie to yourself and be like, because I'm falling for her, and you know, I'm giving into my urges. I don't have sexual discipline. I'm giving into my urges. So because of that beauty, that constitute of us being in a long-term relationship, because I bet you the sex is gonna be good too. All these lies possible, misconceptions, because of that one factor, her beauty, that's leading to all these things. I'm gonna spend a lot on her, do this, do that, provide and protect. I'm gonna marry her. I'm gonna introduce her to my mom. I'm gonna give her the ring tomorrow. All of these things is what's constituting that. Meanwhile, once you get in there, she's not switching up. She's doing shit. She's doing the same shit when that you met her in. Like, for when you met her.
She's not growing, you're saying.
Yeah, and you coming in here now saying, oh, yeah, I got certain rules or whatever it is. You think that's going to work?
No.
It's not working. And that's what I'm saying. He's going to be sick. He's putting himself at harm. So how can you just avoid these double standards? Accept them. Don't allow them around you. The only thing you can control is what you allow around you, what you absorb, and the people you put in your circle.
That's true.
And where you go. What you see, all those things you're absorbing. So that's what I mean with that. So that's the only way they're going to be able to navigate. Most of the people don't have control in anything. They don't have control in their life. So all these things will influence them. and then they will be sick.
Mm-hmm.
This is toxicity. Um, that's what do you call it? Reaping its
Manifesting?
airing head.
Rearing its head.
Rearing its airing head. You know what I'm saying? Like that's that manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And then the healthiness is implementing boundaries and discipline.
Yep.
And when you do
Definitely.
that, that's what's leading to you growing, getting into your divinity probably.
Elevating, definitely.
So, mind you, the woman that has a problem with double standards pertaining to the opposite sex is sick. The dude that has a problem with it can't get over it, and that's what causes him to be like, well, fuck it, man. Why should I strive to be at the top in the job? They're just gonna treat the women better. Fuck it. The dude that's doing that is getting sick. He's getting depressed. Versus the ones that's like, you know what, getting in a relationship with this caliber of a man, I know I'm not gonna be able to run shit here. So let me just get along. And maybe I'll get everything I want. That's a smart woman. The man going through the process. You know what? This shit might have not been fair right now, but he's fucking diabolical. And I don't care how people think if that's toxic or whatever. He's diabolical. He's calculating. He's thinking, this ain't gonna last forever for you. Could be the job. Like, yo, one day, bitch, you treated me bad. One day you gonna need a favor from me.
Or not even
we
that.
still here. We both still here. One day you gonna need a favor. And what happened? Maybe she got a kid. Oh, discipline. My kid is sick. Can you? Oh, no, I can't do that. And I'm off. And I'm available. And I'm like, I can't do that. I got shit to do. Sorry. Wish I could.
I was gonna say also, you could learn from them and then take their job.
Yeah, calculating. You know, so
Diabolical.
it's like there's a plethora of ways where you can maneuver to make this work in your favor, because a lot of the stuff, that's why I say there'll be change, and it would be negative, and it would be riots and all that stuff, leading to depression and sickness. You can alleviate all that shit by what you can control. That's what it comes down to. You know what I'm saying? So all this shit going on in the world, you can't control, but you could do little things. You could boycott shit that support that.
I'm the queen of the boycotts.
You could not go there. I used to get my coffee from there. I don't because of that. Or you could do things for yourself. You don't have to like go crazy. Or maybe some people like to protest, go crazy and do it, and then it makes you like cry, and it makes you depressed, and you can't even go to work because you feeling this way, and now you're calling out 2 days in a row. Now you're hurting your money. Now to do, like, I'm just throwing darts in the dark, trying to hit the bullseye. Different people's scenarios. You're more disciplined, and you're like, okay, this is going on. I might be able to do this, maybe come on a platform, do this, say this, and whatever, and maybe there'll be change. But I'm going to do my part. That's the summary. I know I talk a lot, but I always say, once again, I come down to a point. It always makes sense in the end. Maybe I don't make sense. You're scratching your head, looking in the ceiling. And at the end, he's like, there it is. Okay. You know what I'm saying? It comes down to, I could do my part. That's what it is. So I'm doing my part when I get in a relationship with a woman and hold her accountable, because they were never taught that. I'm doing my part as an uncle to my nieces. One of them doesn't have a father, but the one that does, I'm hoping he does what he does, but I could do my part when they see me or I visit and I'm watching them, because I'm helping raise them too.
And your nephews, though, too.
And my nephews. I could do my part to the young men out there, or whatever, juvenile facilities or whatever it is, colleges, the ones in the street. I could do my part. It's not like everybody got to do it, because that's impossible. That's the thing you can't control. So doing your part, because now when you become that staple and that beacon of opportunity is divinity. And now that, every time you go through that person, you elevate. It's just like, oh, there's the flagship store. You deal with this type of manager. He's the best at training. That is the store where you're going to get promoted at. So if you went from the low volume store and you go to him and he says you're good because we respect his opinion, or maybe her, because women are working now, that's gonna lead you to the top.
Mm-hmm.
So these people I'm talking about,
Right.
these people that when you were shit and you was doing shit before them and you knew nothing until you met them. Now they taught you something.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you get with them, they elevate you to that next level. But you don't get there with the what do you call them?
Bottom feeders?
No,
Bottom of the
barrel.
barrel.
Yes. You see, compliment each other. Here. So bottom of the barrel, like you don't get there with them.
No.
So you get there with these type of people. That's what they're doing. They do their part.
That's right.
And they remain consistent in that. Everybody that comes around them, they take there.
Yep.
Because they're doing their part. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we could do our part only of who you allow, what you do, all that, and stuff like, yo, you got your principles. No matter what, even if it's behind closed doors, do not do that with that girl, the OnlyFans or whatever it is, because you got to stay true to you if you're going to be a leader out there, because it's not going to be, and we're spirit in flesh. It's not going to be, there's not going to be change. You see what I'm saying? There's not going to be real change if you really not practicing what you preach.
That's true. Like you said, applied knowledge.
Yeah, and that's why you see a lot of people getting exposed.
Yep.
All the panderers. I told you last year, right? right. I told you that.
You did.
Because that's what it is. So it's like, it doesn't work. In the spiritual realm, it doesn't work. So that's why I'm saying, like, yo, don't do that with them, or don't do that, or don't steal that, dude. Don't steal that. Nobody's gonna see or whatever it is. But maybe if you was doing that back in the days, like, be different. Show that you changed.
Definitely.
And then you're gonna see this shit happen. You can't say for the girl to talk about she want a good man, but when cameras are off, or when she's not talking to the date or whatever it is, she's doing things that is counterproductive, counterintuitive to her nature to get a good man, or what would constitute nailing that, or what they would like. Oh, I want a good man, but she posts her body online. I see booty, cheeks, everything, cleavage, titties, and shit. She talk wild on there. She doesn't see that as she doesn't see that as a vessel for something of great value for a special individual. Because it's just a picture. It's just fun here.
Right.
Like, we just, you know what I'm saying? It's just whatever. This is a stress reliever.
That's her mentality, you're saying.
Yeah. So in that regard, it's like, wait a minute. You want a good man who's also traditional because you want to be treated traditionally. You want the traditional treatment.
But you're not.
But you don't do that. You don't adhere to gender roles. You don't like it. So you live in a fairy tale world if you think that you could get $1 million and not have to work for it in any regard.
That's true.
Because you believe you deserve it because of what you went through. So now you believe that, but your history never showed that you dated good guys. But because you was fucked up with them and they fucked you over, you don't want to get fucked over too much. So now you want to try something different. In reality, it's not what you're going to like. You're going to end up fucking that up because psychology says what we used to. We just go back to nature. That becomes second nature eventually. You dated betas all your life. You was running shit in there, a feminist. You're going to fuck it up with the alpha. You're going to disappoint them. You're not going to be able to know how to love them right. Because you had to be the man there in the other relationship. It's all those things. Like, you can't say you want something and then you're not working in every way to get that. Because if you're working in every way to get that, once you get it, you're going to know how to sustain it. You're going to know how to retain it. If you never did, that's why you see a lot of these women fumble the bag with these guys.
Yeah.
Or dudes fumble the bag with the girls, the good girls. And then now you say you want them, but you never dated those types, bro. You never dated those types.
Right,
So
you're not gonna know what to do.
It doesn't make sense that you want this now. Submissive? That's synonymous with a good girl too. So you never dated those types though, but that's what you're adamant about? Dominant men? You want dominant men. That's synonymous with also traditional guys. But you don't like traditional. You say that that's boring. They're too serious. They need to lighten up. They come with rules and shit. Like, who does that nowadays? Let's just both be free and equal.
Go with the flow.
Like, what? Where do you, what world do you live in? You see, it doesn't happen. So we got to be true to ourselves. I think the whole chaotic part of this to occur is people don't know themselves. And if they don't know themselves, it's just crazy all over the place. Because now we believe that we like the girl. Oh, dudes think they're like the girl. They got to behave like her because of equality. Girls think they're like the guy, so they got to get what they get and behave like them. So I want to make the money that they make. They make 6 figures and all that. I want to be at the top echelon. I want to metaphorically cut throats and get there to the top, put foots on necks. But meanwhile, she can't connect with dudes because she can't be soft. She can't keep a relationship. So she's trying to have her cake and eat it too. The same thing with the guy. Well, I want to have a submissive woman, but you're not dominant in your life. You don't have a dominant approach either when you're going there. You just expect her to do shit, no shit, and whatever, with no instructions. You think being a leader is crossing your arms and just watching what they're gonna do. Leading by example is showing that you're gonna be responsible and take accountability. And know that to take accountability of people as well to instruct. So you have to command. Most people don't know that. That's why they got the equality mindset. And they think it's toxic if you're commanding. Because these go back to terms too that trigger people. Because they wasn't a boss in their life. So like a guy, you might tell him this stuff and then he gets all butthurt. You trying to tell me to step up. I don't want to do that. I'm a couch potato. Yeah. So that's what it comes down to. Like, we can't have our cake and eat it too. We got to accept this shit, but navigate in a way that favor us in a healthy way and for us to control our life. You know what I'm saying? And get back into our nature. The woman has control in the aspect of her femininity. When she's out of her nature and she's in her masculine, she don't have control. She's not able to operate at her optimal level because she's not basking in her power. When the man is in his feminine and gets in his femininity way more, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's no control. Control and being strict on your principles, your honor, your integrity, your boundaries. These rules apply to all. Nobody's exempt. And that's what allows them to stay in their dominant or masculine frame or feminine frame and submissive frame. Yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Yep, that's true.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, every season, right? Different level. I cook. So
He's a chef. He's an author. He's a chef. You name it. He's a coach.
Yeah, we got those topics this season.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get into it. And like I always say, make sure you keep your mental seat belts on because it's going to be an emotional and psychological roller coaster. Only on the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Peace.